Hello, Think Liberty Network listeners. I am your host, AJ Olding. Welcome to episode 18 of Tales from the Shire. Today I have a very special episode. On Wednesday, June 3rd, about 8 a.m. in the morning, myself, Justin O'Donnell, Zachary Dumont, several other libertarians here in the state of New Hampshire went to go file to run for office at the State House. And we were joined, luckily enough, by the Libertarian Party's nominee for president, Joe Jorgensen, the earliest filing state for president and the first presidential candidate there. So the Libertarian Party has the first person to file to run for president in the country. And then immediately following that, I recorded an interview with Joe on the steps of the State House in New Hampshire. The audio quality is a little rough. I was not able to set all my levels as well as I wanted to, being that I was recording everything outside. It was a little hard to make out everything that was going on my computer screen. So it pops a little bit, but the audio quality is still good. It sounds like it was recorded on vinyl. For an interview recorded on a laptop outside, I think it comes out really well. I speak to Joe Jorgensen about her campaign going forward, what her plans are, about running with Harry Brown in 1996, and you know the importance of being, or not so much the importance, but her overall reactions to being the first person to file for president in the country. I hope you guys enjoy this. This is episode 18 of Tales from the Shire. Please enjoy. Joe Jorgensen, thank you for sitting down with me. You just became the first person in the country to file for president. How are you feeling right now? What are your initial thoughts going forward right now?
Well, I feel great, although I'm not on the ballot yet because of ballot restriction access. So we're not happy about that, of course. What the government is doing is telling us that we need signatures, but they're also telling us we need to stay home and not talk to other people. So once again, we've got a roadblock.
So your team then, do you guys have a plan going forward to deal with getting on the ballot in these states, given that the nature of COVID?
Yes. Well, first of all, the states are all doing excellent jobs. They're filing suits. We made progress in Illinois, so we hope the other states make progress as well. And my team is committed to send me to any state who needs my help, anywhere that we're allowed to at least make public appearances. So we're going to focus on those states because ballot access is key. We need to allow all Americans in all 50 states the opportunity for a real choice because the Democrats and Republicans don't offer it.
Okay, so the real choice of voting for you, what is the choice that is Joe Jorgensen that you're offering contrasted to Joe Biden and Donald Trump?
The real choice is to break free from big government. Donald Trump joined the race and he was elected because he told people that he would give them smaller government. That's why he got so many votes from people who had either never voted or who hadn't voted for 20 years, which is why all the predictions were wrong. So everybody saw him as an outsider. They gave him their votes, and now he's acting just like an insider. He's spending just as much on government as other Republicans, so there really is no difference. So I'm hoping in this election, all of those Donald Trump supporters, voters who didn't get what they voted for, I hope they'll take a look at us and realize that we're the ones who are offering the smaller government that he was promising.
Well, I hope that goes well. I mean, speaking to like the conservative and the Republican crowd, that works really well. What would be your message if you were trying to go after more of, the left-leaning voter base?
I would say if you like Tulsi Gabbard's message of we need to bring the troops home, then please come to my campaign. We are offering true peace, something that the Democrats never have. And even Hillary Clinton was considered a war hawk. So for the Democrats who want peace, they need to look to the Libertarian Party.
Awesome. Well, Justin O'Donnell and myself, and Justin's right over the corner, he just filed for U.S. Senate. I just filed for U.S. Congress. We actually met Tulsi Gabbard a while back, and she actually told us personally that Justin Amash was a friend of hers. He recently joined the party, was entered in the presidential race, and then dropped out. What are your reactions to now having the first U.S. congressman in office since, since the first time ever? How do you feel about that?
I am so happy we've got the first congressman, and I hope that means we'll have many more. One thing that's nice about Justin Amash is he already had some attention. He has some name recognition, and people can see that, hey, here's a family man. He's got a wife and kids, and if you are the average American, you can become a libertarian too. Unfortunately, we have been mischaracterized as being kind of on the edges, and Justin Amash shows that, no, you can be a respectable American and want the freedom that our country was founded on.
So you entered the party, I don't know how long ago you entered the party, but you ran with Harry Browne in 96, correct? And so can you talk to me a little bit about that experience, what you may have learned there, what brought you into it, and anything that you may be applying from that to our current time now?
Well, first of all, I first heard about the Libertarian Party in 1979, and I immediately went to the next local meeting. So I've been involved in the movement for 40 years now. But I thought that Harry Browne was a great candidate. One thing that I learned from him is that you need to act presidential. If you went to one of Harry's rallies, one of his talks, if you met him in person, you saw a gravitas about him that you would look at him and think, yes, he could be president. So I think that we need to act in a way that, yes, we could be president. The best thing about Harry Browne was that he was unabashedly for freedom. He did not sacrifice any freedom, any part of the platform, and yet he offered practical solutions to the American public so that when they heard him, they thought, well, that makes sense. And before they knew it, they were agreeing with him.
So campaigning now in this pandemic, in this era of COVID, is obviously going to be very different. A lot of the candidates that were in the race for the Libertarian Party's nomination were complaining about us not having an in-person meeting or an in-person convention. And one of the big complaints is, well, we won't be able to whip from the floor, and that's a huge part of it. And unfortunately, COVID makes it so that we can't talk to people face-to-face for the most part anyway. So it probably makes sense that we should have a candidate who can win without having to whip from the floor. Do you have any strategies going forward with how to campaign in an era where it's very difficult to meet with people face-to-face?
Yes, it is. But the good news is that means the other candidates can't meet face-to-face too, for the most part. Except for Donald Trump. But we've seen Joe Biden, who looks like he's locked in his basement. And I've been told that my background looks a lot better than his. So at least I'm on equal footing with Joe Biden as far as being online versus in person. But we still are going to try to get out in person to spread the message. And as I mentioned, especially for the states that need ballot access.
Okay, so then... what do you have a scheduled plan for where you're going to go after this stop in New Hampshire as far as campaigning? What's the next spot for the Jorgensen campaign?
As of this point, the next stop will be the convention. However, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple things popped up in the meantime. So I will be going to the convention beginning around July 8th. And then the following week, I'll be at Freedom Fest in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Awesome. If someone wanted to help your campaign, where would they go to volunteer their time or money and whatever, or other resources?
Thank you for that question. Please go to joj2020.com. And we do need help at all levels. And I would like to mention that unlike the previous campaign, and I believe previous multiple campaigns, we are going to start spending money soon so that we can get out there, because they don't treat us seriously unless we spend advertising money and they see that we're a real campaign. So we're hoping to get a snowball effect and get people to learn about us early so they can talk to their friends and their friends can talk to their friends. So we need to get this going as soon as we can. So thank you so much for having me on your show.
Is there anything else that you want to address to my audience before I let you go, or?
I think we covered the main parts, especially in New Hampshire with our ballot access. And again, it was just so exciting to be the first POTUS candidate here.
All right. Thank you very much.
And thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening to episode 18 of Tales from the Shire. Again, I'm your host, AJ Olding. Please do find your way over to JOJ2020.com. Offer Jo Jorgensen all the support you can. She's a great candidate. And I'm looking forward to big things coming in this year, 2020, even with the pandemic going on, even with all the difficulties we have going on. We have a very good chance of doing a lot of damage to the duopoly this year just because of how awful Donald Trump and Joe Biden are, historically speaking. Like, they're two of the worst candidates ever. And, you know, we're in very trying times with all of the marches and demonstrations that are going on right now, all of the unemployment that's going on right now. And I understand some of that is or a lot of that is caused by COVID itself. But much of it is in direct response to actions of the government that libertarians simply would not be taking. And we need to be able to show people that, yes, we are the answer to all of these major overreach issues that the government is inflicting upon us all today. Please go on to Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else and just search up Think Liberty. You can engage with us on all of the different social media platforms. I have my own Facebook page. If you just search for Tales from the Shire on Facebook. If you really enjoyed the show, you can go to patreon.com and search up Think Liberty. Throw us a couple bucks. Well, that would be really appreciated. Please share this episode with all your friends and family as well on all of those social medias that were named before. I'll see you next time. Again, this has been episode 18 of Tales from the Shire, and I've been your host, AJ Olding.